Okay, today we're predicting the Las Vegas Raiders record. So looking at the roster, I think the offense actually looks fine except for the offensive line, which is definitely concerning. Jimmy G, not sure how he's gonna do, but you can bank on him getting injured. Wide receivers and tight end is fine, but their coach, Josh McDaniels, he's shit. Their defense though is dumpster fire. Max Crosby, they have Chandler Jones. Their secondary is pretty much Hobbs and Peters, which are both average at best, giving them a very, very bad defense. So if your first game versus the Broncos, it's a divisional game, and for some reason Raiders do well against the Broncos for whatever reason. But the Broncos, they do have a much more talented defense, and Sean Payne should get that offense going. So I'm taking the Broncos in week one. Then you have them versus the Bills. Bills are Super Bowl contenders. There's no way that the Raiders going to beat the Bills. So I'm taking the Bills here. Then you have them versus the Steelers. Steelers do have to travel to the West Coast, but I think the Steelers' defense is significantly better than the Raiders and can shut down the Raiders. And they also have a significantly better coach. And even though Steelers' offense isn't the best, Raiders' defense isn't the best either. I think Mike Tomlin's significantly better than McDaniels, so I'm giving it to the Steelers. Then you have them versus the Chargers. Again, it's a divisional game, so it's somewhat hard to predict. But Chargers, so much talent. I'm giving it to the Chargers here. Then you have Denver versus Packers. Packers are coming off a mini bye. Packers offense, I'm not sure. They potentially could be good if Jordan Love is good, but they don't really have that much talent. The Packers defense can be good if their DC is good. It's a lot of question marks. But it's a Monday night. I think the Raiders offense can get it done, especially with home field advantage. So I'm giving it to the Raiders here. Okay, then you have a game versus the Patriots. Patriots similarly also have a very good defense, but offense I'm somewhat concerning. But the Raiders have a pretty bad defense in general. I feel like Bill Belichick should not lose this game, so I'm giving the Patriots here. Then you have a game versus the Bears. I think the Bears offense is more explosive than the Raiders offense. Both teams don't have a great defense, but with the Bears home field advantage, I'm giving it to the Bears. Similarly, then you have Denver versus the Lions. Lions, I think they're more experienced. They have a good offense and a potentially good defense, and they have home field advantage. So I'm giving it to the Lions here. Then you have them versus the Giants. Giants have to travel to the West Coast. Talent-wise, the Giants aren't that talented, but like Dable is a very good coach. But Giants are kind of inconsistent. And I think the Raiders' offense can get it done, so I'm giving it to the Raiders here. Then Jets, similarly, Jets also have to travel to the um, West Coast, and I think that one will hurt them. Jets do have a really good defense, and Aaron Rodgers is potentially good, but I'm giving the Raiders here. Then you have them versus the Dolphins. Dolphins coming off a bye. Raiders have to travel to Miami. I think the Dolphins offense with Tyreek Hill, Waddle is too explosive for that Raiders defense to contain, and I think the Raiders or offense won't do enough. So I'm giving it to the Dolphins here. Then you have them versus the Chiefs. Chiefs Super Bowl contenders. I'm giving the Chiefs every time, although this could be an upset since it is divisional rival. But take the Chiefs all day. Then you have them versus the Vikings. They're both coming off a bye, but I think Vikings offense is experienced. It's good. It was good last year. Should be good this year. And I trust them over the Raiders offense, which could have a good game since the Vikings have a pretty bad defense. But I'm still giving it to the Vikings here. Then you have them versus the Chargers on another Thursday nighter. It is a Thursday night on a short week, so it could be an upset game for the Chargers. But I think Chargers talent gets them through, even though it's going to be an ugly game. So I'm giving it to the Chargers here. Then you have them versus the Chiefs. Monday nighter. I do think that the Chiefs sweep the Raiders. Chiefs are just too talented with Andy Reid, so I don't see them losing. So I'm giving it to them. Chiefs here. Then you have Week 17 versus the Colts. To me, the Colts, especially with Jonathan Taylor going asking for a trade, the Colts do have some pieces and home field advantage, but they have a new coach. I think Raiders offense should get the job done, so I'm giving it to the Raiders here. Then you have them versus the Broncos. Like I said, Broncos do struggle against the Raiders. Raiders at this point will be playing spoiler, and I do think the Raiders get the win. So I'm giving to the Raiders here. So Indianapolis Raiders going 5-12, 1-5 in the division, 4-5 at home, and 1-7 away.